Merhabalar herkese. Hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün Litvanya'nın en iyi teknik üniversitesi Kaunas University of Technology'de eğitim ve kariyer fırsatlarını Silvia ve Eylül'den dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı soru cevap bölümünden yönlendiriniz. Yes, Silvia, the stage is yours now.
So first of all, hello everyone. It's really nice to see you here. And we will start with the presentation about Lithuania and the university, so you can have a better image how the country is like, what do we offer for studies. And then later my colleague will also introduce you a bit how is the student like life in Kaunas University of Technology. So just a second, I will start sharing my screen in a minute. I hope that you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Perfect. All right. So first of all, when it comes to the university, we usually call us as a student of city, and there are quite some few reasons why we call so. So first of all, Kaunas is still among top cost-effective cities in Europe, meaning that in the city, you might be spending about 400, maybe 500 euros per month to live. And also, we are not the only university in Kaunas. So here you will definitely find more students coming from all around the world. Approximately, we have 50,000 students studying in Kaunas. Which basically means that every sixth habitant in the city is a student. And also later I will show you the map of Europe as well. But if you can see the map on the left corner, Kaunas is almost in the center of Lithuania, meaning that you will reach other cities really fast. It won't take you much time, so it's very convenient for traveling. And also when you take a look to the European map, Lithuania is actually kind of in the center of Europe if we take all the directions together, and that's why traveling to other countries is quite convenient as well. Many students actually take this opportunity just to visit countries, sometimes even just for a weekend. As a country, we are quite small, so we are less than 3 million people living in Lithuania, and we speak one of the oldest languages in the world, Lithuanian language. The capital is Vilnius, and we here use euro as a currency, and we also part of European Union, NATO, Schengen area. And let's go to the university part. So first of all, university is well known for linkages with business, leadership and scientific research. So our goal is that students would have a perfect experience during their studies, that they could make connections for their future career, whether it would be an internship or a job after the graduation. And we want to make sure that the experience that they get here will be unforgettable. Here at university, we have 9 faculties, and all of them offer programs in English. So as you can see, we have chemical technology, economics and business, electrical and electronics, informatics, mathematics and natural sciences, mechanical engineering and design, social sciences, arts and humanities, civil engineering and architecture, and as well as Panevėžys Faculty of Technologies and Business. I just have to mention that the last faculty is located outside Kaunas. It's in another city of Lithuania. So a little bit about in numbers, how our community looks like. So we have more than 8,000 students seeking for a higher education at our university, and nearly 6,000 of them are bachelor's degree students, while more than 2,000 students are masters. We have more than 1,000 students coming from abroad, and also about 300 students seeking for a doctoral degree, and we also have more than 1,000 of academic staff. Now a little bit about the programs. So when it comes to the programs, we do offer huge variety of programs. In Lithuanian and English language, but the best ones that were chosen, they offered are fully in English. So we offer 22 programs in English for bachelor's degree students, 28 for masters, and all 20 programs for doctoral studies are fully in English. And we also have 5 years integrated architecture program, meaning that you start as an undergraduate, but upon completion, you receive a 5 years degree, which is equivalent to master's degree. So when it comes to the faculties, I would like to go a bit deeper to tell which programs we offer as well. So first of all, besides of the programs, we also have preparatory course, because we understand that some students might be lacking some knowledge or skills, let's say in English language or architecture drawings. So if your English language is insufficient, you have a possibility to take English preparatory course for 1 or 2 semesters, and then continue with the chosen program in bachelor's or master's. As architecture program requires portfolio and passing entrance examination, we also have preparatory architecture course, which basically prepares you for the studies and the examination. So as I've mentioned, the architecture program is 5 years, it's integrated. So in the end, you're awarded the master's degree. We also have computer science programs such as informatics and artificial intelligence. And when it comes to the university offered programs, and these are definitely one of the strongest ones. And we always have students coming from all around the world. And in general, Lithuania is very strong in computer science. So it's definitely worth to consider. We also have a huge variety of engineering programs. So here you can choose from aviation engineering or civil engineering, electronics, mechatronics, mechanical engineering. So it's completely up to you. I'm sure that if you're looking for engineering programs, you will definitely find them here. And we also have social science programs. So here we have public governance and civil society, which is actually a double degree program with a cooperation of University of Central Florida in the United States, meaning that in the 3rd year, you have a possibility to go and study to University of Central Florida in the United States for the same fee that you would be paying at Kaunas University of Technology. And we also have humanities like new media language, which is more like a mix of social media and journalism. And we also have technology programs like food science and technology, material physics, and we also have business digitalization management. So when it comes to master's degree programs, I will not go into that much of a detail because they actually follow the bachelor programs that we offer. So, well, if you complete a bachelor's degree program, you will definitely you'll find a suitable program for further degree. Or if you have a bachelor's, you can just take a look and decide on the program to study for master's. So again, we have architecture for those who graduated from architecture bachelor degree abroad. We also have accounting and auditing, international business. Yeah, we also have computer science master's degree program, and again, variety of engineering programs. So here again, we have aeronautical engineering, which is kind of continuous program of aviation. We have chemical engineering, control technologies, electronics engineering, again, mechanical engineering, as well as mechatronics, structural and building products engineering. So again, you have a variety that you can choose from. And here we have health sciences, but they're still oriented into technologies. So here we have medical physics and medicinal chemistry. We also have technology sciences such as food science, material physics, applied chemistry, and also fashion innovation technologies. We also offer applied chemistry, mentioned as well, and for social sciences, here we offer public policy and security. So when it comes to the fees, I'm sure that it's important to everyone. We have for bachelor's degree programs, the prices vary from 2,700 to 3,500 euros per year. And for masters, it's from 4,096 euros to 6,187 euros. Although I have to mention that the highest price, especially for masters, is for architecture. Other programs, they cost less, around 4,000 or 5,000 euros. And for bachelors, the lowest price is for social sciences, business programs, engineering, technology. They cost a little bit more. But also, I will introduce you to the possible scholarships or at least discounts. So first of all, we have tuition fee waivers for our international students. If your grades are above 80%, you have a possibility to, well, you might be considered for a tuition fee waiver, meaning that your studies would be fully covered by the university. Well, the tuition fee itself, you would have to pay only for the living expenses from your own. And we also have partial tuition fee waivers. So if your grades are high, like it's basically a combination of ranking score that like we take the average of the subjects that they're required for a particular program you choose. But basically, if your grades are high, the tuition fee can be reduced, and the fee can be reduced by approximately 25% from the original price. And we also have scholarships for our students. So when you're already enrolled as a KTU student, you have a possibility to apply for talent scholarships if your grades are good, for example. And also we have state-funded scholarships, but these apply for European citizens. So for example, in case you have a double citizenship like Bulgarian, you could apply for this one. So a bit about student life. More you'll get in detail from my colleague. So here in the campus, we have KTU dormitories, and the prices vary from 120 euros to 230 euros. We have single and double rooms, so naturally, like single rooms are pricier than the double rooms. We have free and fast Wi-Fi everywhere in the campus, and a few years ago, Lithuania had the fastest Wi-Fi in the world. Still, like we're among the leaders, so I am sure that it should be working well everywhere. And while the campus is not located in the very city center, it's very easy to reach all the parts of the city from here. So the closest shopping mall is about 10 minutes from the campus, while the center is about 20 minutes by public transportation. And considering that if you live in a dormitory, you might be spending like 350, 450 euros per month. Maybe my colleague will also add later about her experience when it comes to expenses. So also, like, let's move to, as we sometimes call it, special effects of the study at KTU. So here we have some special programs for active, talented students. We have gifted for students who have CGPA higher than 80%. From the first year, they have a possibility to apply for gifted and have like additional consultations from professors, like preparation for like how to prepare for the future career and additional classes. And on top of that, 300 euros one scholarship. We also have a guided program, which is basically mentorship. So as a new student, you would have assigned a mentor, like senior student, who is here to help you, like to get used to life in Kaunas, like to find one or another like place that you're unsure. And we also have Wanted. So we organize the largest future market event in Kaunas, and it's actually the largest in the Baltic states overall. So there you have a possibility to meet companies, not only from Lithuania, but also our neighbor countries. And you can submit your CV for an internship or in future a job as well. We also have Art Society. So all students are always invited to join there during their free time. We also have Activated program, like different sports teams. And we also have 30 different organizations under United, as well as different Discovered for the mobility. So for the Discovered, our students are always like really encouraged to take a part in Erasmus Plus program and go abroad for a semester, let's say, or a few months internship abroad. and they can choose from countries from basically all around the world here, as we have not only Erasmus, but also bladder agreements. And as I've mentioned, we have sports team, but also we have a gym for our students, and it's free of charge to join. So there you can either join group sessions or just do your workouts there. We also have teams that you can join, either professional teams to represent the university or free time activities, like whenever you want to spend your time there. We also have a program, Study at KTU Ambassador. So my colleague is also part of it, so maybe she'll share a bit. So our Study at KTU ambassadors, they're basically students who are here to share their experience about studies with future students, sometimes even their parents, because naturally, like, everyone has some questions to ask. And, you know, we are locals, so for us, it's our comfort zone. But our Study at KTU ambassadors, they came from other countries, and well, they had to start a life here. So as I've mentioned, for the mentorship program, like, we also have not only students are mentors, but like all students are assigned with a tutor, and research mentor, so like to help during their research projects. And also here we have student leisure center as well as student organizations. So all students are always welcome to join. And the most important part, admission requirements to KTU. So for the general requirements, your grades should be 60% or higher, and maximum 3 years gap after high school is considered, although in some cases it can be reviewed and reconsidered if there are additional documents, like additional studies taken after the high school. And each program has entry subjects as part of the requirements, so like they should also be at least 60%. For example, for all engineering programs, entry subjects are usually mathematics and physics or chemistry. So those would be the key subjects. And of course, proficiency in English. So while we do require for IELTS or TOEFL, let's say equivalent to B2, we also have our own KTU test prepared. So if you have not taken one of these, you have a possibility to take English test after you apply to the university. It's completely free of charge. And if you pass it, we will consider it instead of an official certificate. Also, if your previous studies were fully in English, then you're not required to submit any certificate. When it comes to masters, so the degree should be relevant, related to a program like you want to study as well, like to continue your education. And the average of grades should be, again, about 60%. You would be required to pass motivation interview with a program director of a faculty you're applying to. And here again, we have proficiency in English requirement. So it should be equivalent to C1, but here as well, we have our English test prepared. So if you decide to apply for studies at KTU, you can simply do that online by going apply.ktu.edu. And it works as a registration form. You would go step by step to provide the information required as well as your documents. And then we will contact you as soon as we see your application there. So if you still are thinking, why should you consider KTU? We have some good reasons and to share with you. So first of all, your degree will be globally recognized. University is #1 technical university in Lithuania, and it is leader university in the Baltic states as well. And the campus is bilingual, so knowing English here will be definitely sufficient to communicate with people in the campus. And in general, Lithuanians, especially the younger generation, they speak English usually fluently. And our university has joint study programs, so you can go abroad for a semester or two. We also have double degree options for some programs, and we have work placements, internship, career opportunities for you at the university as well. So if you still have some questions, after the meeting, feel free to contact us through email or even social media. We're there as well. So the best way, I would say, like, you can just drop an email to international@ktu.lt. And if you would like to contact our ambassadors, so feel free to do that. You can choose them according to your country or program you're thinking to study. So to get feedback, like, let's say, how was it to adapt in the country, or how was the program? What were the subjects? Feel free to contact them and ask for their feedback. So thank you for listening. And now I guess my colleague Eylül will present her part.
Merhaba herkese. Öncelikle sunumumu İngilizce yapacağım ama en sonunda sorularınızı İngilizce'de, Türkçe'de fark etmez sorabilirsiniz. Ekranı paylaşacağım şimdi. Okay, so my presentation about being a KTU student from a KTU student's perspective. First of all, let's start with who am I? My name is Eylül. I used to live in Istanbul before I came to Lithuania for my studies, and my hometown is actually Denizli. I'm an IB alumni. If any of you are studying in that program, you can ask related questions. I would be happy to answer. I'm doing my third year of bachelor's in informatics right now. As Celia mentioned before, I'm a part of Gifted's program and also a study at KTU ambassador. I also have done international mentoring for international and Erasmus students as well. Yeah, there's a lot of multiple things, but let's skip that part. The most important part, maybe, since I came to Lithuania, it's my third year, and I traveled to more than 10 different countries in Europe because the flights are crazily so cheap. Yeah, so we can talk about advantages of KONAS. First of all, the public transportation is so good, especially for a person who's coming from Istanbul. I know our public transportation is good, but it's so chaotic. There's always traffic. There's always something wrong, or I don't know, something goes wrong all the time. But here in KONAS, you just get onto the bus. It takes maximum 30 minutes to go somewhere, and you're there, and you pay only 33 cents. That's like amazing. I love it. Also, another thing I love about KONAS is that the nature, like, I don't know, it's also not about Lithuania, it's basically about KONAS, and like you can find parks everywhere. You can even go to like a nice lakeside in like 30 minutes maximum again. It's just so calm and nice. Next thing is student city. Sylvia also mentioned about it, so I won't talk about it a lot, but there are so many students, especially international students, if you're looking for them. And it's pretty easy to socialize and find people. Yeah, like also accessibility again, like bicycle, on foot, you can go everywhere. If you are bored of KONAS, for example, you can go to Vilnius with train for an hour, and then you're there. That's like daily commute in Istanbul. Or you can take like a 3 hours bus to Klaipėda, to the city near the shore, and you can, I don't know, take a walk by the seaside, enjoy a smaller city, etc. There are also several cuisines available in KONAS. I can name like 2 Turkish restaurants, but I believe there are even more places like small markets, small cafes, etc. About student budget, I would say it's around 350 to 500, but you can always go more than that. But like for me, I usually spend around like 400, 450, depending on what I did that month, basically. Also, KONAS was European Capital of Culture in 2022. I know it was last year already, but it was nice, and I believe there are so many remainders of this whole year with a lot of like still exhibitions going on, and I don't know, there always something that you can like come here and see something about KONAS 2022 still. And yeah, as I mentioned before, traveling, a lot of cheap flights. You can fly to, for example, Helsinki for €5, or to Oslo, or to Denmark, or whatever. About accommodation, in my personal experience, I first stayed at dormitories and then I moved out to a private flat. So I know about both of them. About dormitories, there are 6 different dormitories and all of them has different characteristics. But most common one is to have a double room and a shared kitchen in your floor and a bathroom for either with your roommate or with your blockmates, which is like 4 people in total. There's free internet access, free laundry and drying services. And about private land, we have this website, Orodas. Don't ask why I put this here, because when I was in your situation, I was going crazy. I was trying to find all the links, everything that I can find, and like get an idea of the private flats and etc. So I of course also found this link, and I was going through all the flats. Like it's our sahibinden.com basically. And there are also Facebook groups, but don't get into that. It's more complicated. Just stay with Orodas. And about prices, it varies a lot, like a lot. But you should, like in the best case, you should expect to pay 1.5 times more than what you would pay for dormitories. Opportunities. So Sylvia again also mentioned about all of these, but maybe I can go from the most relatable ones to me, so I can give personal experience. So there is United. In United, there are basically student clubs. And I was in, for example, one club called Video Shot. And we were basically like 10 people, I would say, doing videos, editing them, and then publishing them, etc., etc. And like you can find a lot of organizations like this in United. Then there is Guided, which is like a big thing, at least for me, because there is this thing called career mentorship. What is this? You might ask. It's basically, there is a list of people published in your academic system. And you go through these people and find someone that you can relate. And then you can like apply for them to be your career mentor. Then they basically lead you on your career path. Like they can help you to find what you want to focus on. They can help you even find like internships, job placements, etc. Yeah, and there's Vantage Career Days. Sylvia again mentioned, I'm gonna skip it. There are sports, free gym, etc. I'm skipping. And then, okay, there is Gifted Academy, which I'm a part of as well. So Gifted Academy is basically an academy that provides opportunities for students for their personal and professional development. And every year they select 20 students to get accepted to this academy. And in this academy, we have a lot of like workshops, seminars, etc., that makes us connected to professionals in our future career areas. We also get a scholarship of €300 per month as a little side benefit. And there are a lot of like community events, and it's also a perfect opportunity to meet like-minded people and do like some nice projects and also just spend time. Okay, so next one is exchange studies. You can do exchange for up to 12 months, and you can go to either European countries with Erasmus Plus program, or you can go a little bit crazier and go to countries like South Korea, China, Taiwan, Mexico. I think there was Canada at one point. I'm not sure if it exists anymore, but yeah, you can go to these countries by bilateral agreements. From my personal experience, I went to Vienna last semester actually. I was at Vienna University of Technology. I had so great time. I met so many people. And like I got to see how it is like actually to study in another university while I was already studying abroad. So I went to study abroad when I was studying abroad. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. And of course, these programs are supported. And for this one, for example, I got 520 euros scholarship per month. And it depends on the country you're going to. And we have actually Erasmus programs in Turkey too, so I don't think it's a very unfamiliar thing for you, but yeah, anyways. So yeah, that's all about my presentation. Thank you for listening. Now you can ask questions in a question box, as I said, either in Turkish or in English, and you can find me later on my Instagram or my email address if you want to ask something else. Also in the links Sylvia shared about ambassadors, you can also find me there. It's in KTU's page. Thank you.
Thank you, Zeynep. So I saw that there are some questions in the questions and answers section. So I guess we can answer some. I see the first one. So the question, whether you need to get visa to study in Kaunas. Yes, unless you have a green passport. Otherwise, you have to apply for the visa in the visa center. You also have a possibility to receive residence permit while still being abroad now. These are the new changes from this year. So you can already apply before coming to Lithuania and receive residence permit card by post to Turkey. Otherwise, you can just apply for the visa. And once you're here in Lithuania, you can change it to residence permit. Once you have a residence permit, you also have permission to work full-time, whether you're a bachelor's or master's degree student. So when it comes to the popular programs among international students, as I've mentioned during the presentation as well, so definitely informatics would be the leader at least. Then when it comes to engineering programs, I would say that it's mechanical engineering among bachelors, mechatronics, robotics, what else could be from social sciences, it's definitely new media language and also business digitalization management. But also I'd like to bring attention that other programs are great as well. We just see some kind of pattern that some students, depending on the countries they're coming from, they prefer to choose one programs, like social sciences, for example, or might be more popular among particular countries, while engineering are more popular from other countries. So it's really difficult to name just a few, but these would be the ones. So as for the career services, well, we might not offer directly career services, but we do have many contacts with companies, not only in Lithuania, but other countries. So students are always and graduates as well, of course, welcome to contact, to make connections with them. And also, as I've mentioned, we have the career fair, where whether you're still a student or a graduate, you are invited to join there as well. I do personally know quite many students who actually found their jobs during the fair there.
Also, maybe to this question, I can add that, as I mentioned before, I had a career mentor for 2 years, and both of my career mentors helped me a lot to find an internship. And now I'm doing an internship actually. And it's actually unlike in Turkey, it's very, very common to have an internship or even be working in your area during your studies in Lithuania. So yeah, and there are so many opportunities to find one that fits you.
Yeah, that's actually true. I think it's also kind of cultural, how even Lithuanians, even though parents, they live here and usually they do support their children during the studies. Most of the students, they start working still third year already, because they just want to be financially independent from their parents. So it could be just
for me, I was I was in my second year and all my friends started working, I was like, what's happening? Maybe I should start doing it too. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
very, like, it was a tiny cultural shock, maybe even.
Yeah, like even from my personal experience, when I was a bachelor student, I did not I did not look for a job until the third year. And then like everyone was asking like, so what's wrong with you? Like, why are you not working yet? So like it was a social pressure as well. Like, and it was not just like, it was not something that like, I had financial issues. It's just like, they think that you can use your time to get experience while you're studying already. All right. Okay. So what is the minimum requirement for CGPA for scholarship? So basically, as I've mentioned, to be considered for scholarship, your grades should be like 80%. So I would have to convert your grade, but I'm pretty sure that above 3, it's already more than 80. So above 3, it should be fine. So there is a question whether you're able, like you would be able to work during the studies. So we just discussed about it. Yes, as soon as you have residence permit, you can do that. I'm pretty sure like at least during the first year, it's a bit harder because you still do not have like actual knowledge or skills like for your like your study related field. But I know that many students at first they join jobs that do not require qualification, like for example, food delivery. And then once they do have like skills or knowledge, they start looking for jobs more like related to their field. Sorry, I skipped one question. I'll answer later. We do offer master's degree programs in English. All the programs that I've mentioned, they are fully taught in English. So for the career opportunities, we kind of discussed about it, unless you have more particular question, but basically like from any field, you have a possibility to find a job like either in Kaunas or Vilnius. Like there are many international companies in both of the cities. So usually like knowing English is sufficient to work in a company here. There is a question for Eilul.
Okay. I can answer this by even showing you how you can find the answer. So maybe it's going to be more helpful. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay. When you go to KTU's main page, you can go to student section here on top and scroll down a little bit, development programs. And when you go here, you see all the programs. And basically, United is where you can find all the student clubs. And like you can scroll here, you can see what are there, what you can find. For example, there's a hikers club. Well, we have the student leisure center. There's a folk group that I didn't know about. Yeah, like I don't have all the personal experience. I was only a part of this organization called KTU Video Shot. But basically, if you go to this page, you can find everything about all the student clubs and activities, etc.
Thank you, Eilul. About the specific partner companies, while we do have partnerships, like basically like made connections with companies, not only in Lithuania, but other countries as well. But like, it's not a rule that you must do an internship there, like let's say under Erasmus, if you decide to go abroad. Like all students are always encouraged to make their connections. And for example, if you decide to do an internship abroad, you can even just bring us like the contacts of a company that agrees to host you and like accept you for the internship. And then we would contact them, like, just to get an approval for it. In Lithuania, we do have like some companies that we cooperate with, like we usually like get notified as well when they're looking for interns. But again, like you're free to look for internships, and usually internships are also posted on like among job advertisements as well. Mm-hmm. And about the language requirements, so basically, since we're a state university, we must follow the guidelines by the state law. So as of now, like Duolingo is not accepted yet. I do know that the Duolingo is accepted like in many states as well, like in like high ranked universities. But like if you have taken it, you can submit it, and then you would just be additionally invited for an virtual meeting through Zoom, so we can check the level to make sure that you have the required level. For bachelor's degree, you're required to have B2, and for master's C1. And all internationally recognized certificates are accepted. So whether it's TOEFL, IELTS, there are also like other like Cambridge assessment. As I've also mentioned, if your previous studies were in English, you are not required to submit these. And if you do not have one of the certificates, you can also take KTU test. It is free of charge, and you would be invited to the test after submitting your application. There's one more question about career opportunities, so I guess I'll just skip it because we kind of commented it like several times. There is one more question to you, Eylül.
İstanbul'u özlüyor muyum? Özlemiyorum. Yani tabii ki özlediğim yanları var. Mesela ben veganım ve çok fazla vegan kafe var İstanbul'da. Kaunos'ta yani bir eli geçmeyecek kadar fazla kafe var. Bilmiyorum, yani İstanbul çok büyük bir şehir ve çok fazla avantajı var. Ve hani bunları almayıp Kaunos'taki sakinliği alabilirsiniz yerine. O şekilde. Eğitim sonrasında dönmeyi planlıyor muyum? Çok sanmıyorum, çünkü benim şu anda enformatik okuyorum ve enformatikten sonra odaklanmak istediğim alan Türkiye'de çok popüler bir alan değil. Ve çok fazla alıştım buraya. O yüzden çok sanmıyorum.
Yeah, I guess I could just add quickly a bit as well, because I had an opportunity to live in Istanbul for some time. So when I came back to Lithuania, like it felt so quiet and peaceful here, like compared to Istanbul. It's like, I was like, where are the people? As if like, you know, it was like, I don't know, like in Istanbul, I know you're used to like being surrounded like by people everywhere, like no matter where you go, and like you get stuck in a traffic for 3 hours and then you don't know like whether you'll make it on time. Like you spend a lot of time in traffic there. So I think this was one of the key things that I really enjoyed, like when I realized that I enjoy when I moved back to Lithuania, is that you do not waste your time in a traffic here. Like there are no traffic basically if you compare to Turkey. And especially in Kaunas, like even when I go to work at 8, like it takes me like a few minutes basically to make like 2 kilometers distance, because well, there are just a few cars and that's it. So it does make it like very convenient when it comes to living. And in general, like Kaunas as a city is very safe. Like it's very quiet, and like, yeah, like I feel safe like walking, like whether it's nighttime or like early morning time, it's very quiet, I would say.
Yeah, also like about safety, I, for example, feel super safe to leave my bag in a cafe and go to toilet, for example. And I would never be able to do that in Istanbul or in any other city in Turkey, basically. But like, I don't know, people don't have, why would they steal your stuff? They're happy already. They have already what they need. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Is there any sponsorship funds engineering students for master's engineering? So, well, basically, as I've mentioned, instead of a scholarship, we do like have a tuition fee waiver for students with like high grades from the previous education. So if you had good grades from your bachelor's degree, definitely you would have a high chance getting a tuition fee waiver for master's studies here. So in that case, you would not have to pay for it, and well, only living expenses would be on you. And during the studies, you have a possibility to apply for a talent scholarship. So that's like about 300 euros a month, if I'm not mistaken.
it's $250 a month.
Oh.
Also, on top of that, there are occasionally some sponsor scholarships and like one-time scholarships. Basically, you can get for example, volunteering at the university, or just basically applying for a sponsor and getting it. Yeah.
Thank you for adding this. All right, so it seems like we've answered all the questions there. I'm not sure how much time we have left. I guess we are like coming to an end. If anyone still has questions, feel free to ask. If there were some questions that were like answers that were unclear to you, feel free to ask again. We're here. And also, as I've mentioned, after the meeting, feel free to contact me or Eylül as well. You can contact us by email or social media. So if it's more about the admission requirements, feel free to reach our international office by international@ktu.lt. But as well, if you have other questions, even like country related or something, feel free to ask us.
Yes, thank you very much for the great presentation, Silvia and Eylül. It was very informative for the attendees, and you covered all of the questions. Thank you for your answers too. Also, could you please put your email address on the chat box, so if the participants have further questions, they can contact you later?
Definitely, we'll do that right away.
Thank you. Also, I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. KTU ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için chat kısmında paylaşılmış olan mail adresinden Silvia'ya ve Zeynep'e ulaşabilirsiniz. Bir sonraki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, you guys. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Teşekkürler.
Take care.
Teşekkürler.
İyi akşamlar.
İyi akşamlar.